were hit under bright lights, but one loss don't end the fight. Mahomes still flies, the kingdom believe. Can't see strong, tricked up by speed. It's a long season, just one game. 17 weeks, chasing that flame. Hold your heads high, the red still bleeds. Champions rise when the kingdom beats. Long season, Chiefs kingdom. Long season, Chiefs kingdom.
Welcome to the Arrowhead Paesano Sunday edition podcast, Chiefs Charger recap. Let's talk about it. The first thing we want to talk about tonight is I've been watching some podcasts. They talked about the Chiefs had a low energy level. When you think about the travel and the bus ride, you could see that could be something that would bring them down a little bit. But I look at it this way. You played on the Super Bowl, the biggest stage in the world, and you got hammered. Now you have a chance to redeem yourself on YouTube, followers everywhere in the world, and you don't take advantage of it. That bothers me a little bit on what we talked about. Energy level comes within. Everybody on that team has got to be fired up. You know it's going to be a tougher this year, and we need to make our energy level as high as we can and be ready in Arrowhead next week. The next thing we wanted to move over to, is the offensive output. When you think about our offense, the first quarter, it was like going out in a 10 degree below zero and trying to start a car. It wouldn't turn over. The play calling was not what I was hoping for. When Worthy got injured, it seemed like the whole playbook changed. But I will tell you, the first quarter, Mahomes missed a couple wide open touchdowns. You know, Hollywood missed a pass that could have taken us onto a field goal at least. I think the offensive line was average. Their scores of PFF were not good. Surprisingly, Creed Humphrey had the lowest PFF score of any lineman, and that's not going to be there for long. Creed will get that cleaned up. And I think, when you look at it, as we got into the second half, it looked like we started dinking and dunking and started playing some better ball. And I felt like Mahomes was trying to be Superman. And you got to give him credit. I thought Patrick played a very good game considering what was going on. And he got us back, and we were really close. The next thing that happened in that offense is when we scored and we missed that extra point, it seemed that changed the momentum of the game, because then we had to start playing. It was like playing keep away. You had to go for the 2-point conversion, and then you missed it because of a batted down pass, and then it escalated, and we got too far behind where we couldn't come back. The next subject we're going to talk about is the defensive output. When you looked at the defense on Friday night, it was pitiful. I understand that, it's the first game. People were moving back and forth and trying to get adjusted, but it just seemed like we couldn't get off the field. Herbert done anything he wanted. We couldn't put any pressure on the quarterback. It just was painful to watch. And, the Chiefs came down to one stop. If you get one stop, you put the ball in Mahomes' hand with 2 minutes to go and try to win the game. So considering, the Chargers played probably an A game. The Chiefs played a C minus. If they play an A game, you played a C minus, and you came within one score of winning that game, there's something to look forward to when we get that defense cleaned up. And I'm going to tell you, Spags will do it. Spags is one of the best. You know what? We need to ask Spag to make some meatballs for all the defensive players, because we get those meatballs, get some energy, Paesano. So I think we'll be back and we'll be ready. The next topic we want to go into is the red zone efficiency. When you think about the Chiefs in this game, they were 1 out of 3. The play calling in the red zone, didn't seem like it was on point. I mean, they didn't run the ball 0 times in the red zone. You're trying to get a touchdown, and the plays just didn't look good in the red zone. And I'm going to tell you, if we just make one touchdown in the red zone, one more, besides Mahomes running it in, we can win that game. Just one more. And the red zone is going to be so important. When we were 1 for 3, that's 33%. The best teams in the league get you about 50 plus. So you got to improve that red zone. Got to look at the play calling and make sure that happens. Teams' ups and downs. When you think about it, look at Andy Reid had to stop the team after halftime to say, wait a minute, we've got to get this thing back on kilter, guys. And I mean, Andy was fired up about that. And then when you think about the ups and downs, when Worthy went down, the team took a little, kind of went down. They just got down a little bit. And then when Pat willed us back in and Bucker hit that 59-yard field goal right before half, I said, all right, we're back. We're back. Things are going to happen. But the defense just could not contain, the rest of the way. The offense started clicking, but the defense, you know what? It just happens. First game of the year, it's not the end of the world. The Chiefs will be back. The next thing we're going to talk about is whose stock went up and whose stock went down. I'm going to say going stock up, Patrick Mahomes. Pat did everything you could possibly do to win that game, especially from quarter 2 to quarter 4. I think Drew Tranquil played a fantastic game. He had 2 quarterback sacks. He was stopping the run. Their running game, their running back only had 3.2 average per run. I mean, so I think Drew played a good game. I thought Kelsey was pretty well. I thought Kelsey could have got better timing with Mahomes on that red zone pass. And I thought that, our offensive line, Josh Simmons, for his first game, and Kingsley, I don't think they played terrible by any means. I think they're very respectable, and I think that their stock probably went up a little bit, in my opinion. When we look at stock going down, okay, I mean, it's scary. And when you look at I'm just going to do a category, the pass rush. Man, that stock is going down. Getting no pressure at all. It's like Herbert went back to throw. It was like you were playing football in your backyard and nobody could rush the quarterback. He had all day to throw the ball. So I'm going to say that the defensive rush, that whole group went down. I'm going to say the defensive backs. I looked at their PFF scores. When you look at it, Kamari Connor had 7 passes, 7 completions. You just go right down the line, and every one of them was like that. So we did not play good. Our defensive backs were just slipping and sliding. They were in the wrong position. I just don't understand it. When you have a whole training camp and you know what you're about to face, that's what you get. So I think there's some opportunity there. And then I think, you know what? The other thing I would say that stock going down, you're the Chiefs. You're the most respected team in the NFL. You cannot have players on the sideline fighting with one another. That's the bad teams that do that. You are a classy team. You have to be the ones that pick your neighbor up and say, hey, maybe it wasn't our night tonight, but we're going to get him next time. We'll fight it through. We'll make it happen. So then we go down to the outlook. And when you think about the outlook, there's all kinds of things out there, okay? But the first thing I will say is game 1, okay? It's got a long season. We got 16 more games. It's going to, it just takes some time. The second thing I'm going to say is I watched football all day today, and was not impressed by the Broncos. Bo Nix, 2 picks, didn't do well, fumble. I was not that impressed by the Raiders, even though they both won. You know what? The Chargers, we played a C game. They played an A. We barely lost. So I think it's okay. The world's not caving in. The Chiefs are okay. And the next thing I will say on our outlook, is that we have the best coach in the NFL. Andy Reid is very calm and collected. He's not going to let anybody get shook up over this. Anytime we've gotten beat like this, Andy normally will have this team ready to go, and they're going to need to be ready because Philadelphia is really a good team. As we look at what's going on the next 3 or 4 games, quickly, you got Philly, you got New York, and you got Baltimore. It's going to be tough, but I believe that the Chiefs can pull through. I want to thank everybody for watching our podcast tonight. Please like and subscribe. We would love to hear what you think of the Chiefs in the first game on our comment section. Until then, let's go Chiefs.
We took a hit under bright lights, but one loss don't end the fight. Mahomes still fly, the king of belief. KC's gone, tricked up by speed. It's a long season, just one game. 17 weeks, chasing that flame. Hold your heads high, the red still bleeds. Champions rise when the king of beats. Long season.